All right, we'll start shortly, guys. We're waiting for some people to come in. All right, we're going to go ahead and start the meeting. Some people will probably be coming in a little bit late. I will be recording this meeting and posting it on our module. All right, so no worries on that. If for whatever reason we don't have some people joining us right now, or won't be joining us today, I will post the meeting. Real quick, there was an issue with regards to our series last week, and I wish some people would have notified me with regards to it. But unfortunately, that's not going to really, it's not going to help us this week. We're just going to have to try to finish some of these modules a little bit sooner than anticipated. Excuse me. Let me go ahead and share my screen and I'll let you guys know what I'm referring to. Okay. So last week we were supposed to get finished with module 4, and you were supposed to submit your artifact before Sunday. So pretty much we were working on 4.2 and 4.3, or we were supposed to be working on those. Earlier today, when I went to double check that I had my dates listed correctly on here, I noticed that 4.2 and 4.3 were not available to you all. So this is going to be a an issue here, and we need to make sure that we finish this week. In other words, we're going to have to finish all four, 4.3, 4.2, and 4.3 this week, along with the modules, or along with 5.1 as well. So really important that you guys make sure that that you address some of the things that we're going to need for these modules, because we only have about a week or a couple of weeks left. So let me go ahead and talk about those modules that we were missing. On November 17th, I did post this particular this announcement with regards to 4.1, 4.2, and 4.3. These are the major kind of assignments that are required from each one of these modules. All right. So at 4.1, we had already kind of talked about the remix and the artifact in a previous lecture. So this is going to be your theory of writing sort of remixed into a different kind of mode, a different kind of genre that can be visual, audio. You should be able to post it on your website somehow or another. Now, because of the limited time that we have, you're going to have to try to, the only way to kind of do this at this point, we can't get creative anymore. We don't have enough time for that. But your artifact probably should be something that can be seen through a website, some video that you might be able to use along with it. But pretty much you need to make sure that you, before Sunday, find out exactly what it is that you're going to want to do. And if possible, finish your artifact so that I can see what you guys have done next week on Monday. We will not be meeting on Wednesday. So again, you have this week to sort of catch up on your assignments and also make sure to do these missing modules that we were supposed to have done last week. So again, make sure that you check the announcement to the announcement marked November the 17th to see what the kind of the major assignments are for each one of these modules. These are already open, so you should be able to see these, okay? Excuse me. Today, I wanted to talk about module 5. We're pretty much at the stage where we're wrapping up everything. So right now, what you should have open is, or you should have available to you, is series 5.1. All right. Now, really quick, I want to talk about these dates that I have here for series 5.1 to 5.3. I want to be done with series 5.1 by the end of this week or by Sunday. Now, because last week we were missing those 4.1 or 4.2, 4.3 series, you guys have a little bit more to catch up on. All right. Now, the other thing that I'm going to do because of that is I am going to provide a slight extension with regards to due dates. All right. Most of my classes are going to be done by December the 6th. So by December 6th, I'm going to pretty much give you guys your final grades. For this particular class, the final date that I'm going to allow for you guys to submit grades will probably be the 9th. All right. Now, this isn't really going to help much because what I'd rather do is I'd rather have maybe the last day for submissions or the last day that we meet be on the 8th. And on that day, I can give you guys, well, no, actually, it's not going to be possible for me to give you your grades beforehand. Unfortunately, I'm not able to communicate grades via email. So the only thing is either you're going to have to conference with me individually if you want to know what your grade is before the end of the semester. My grades are due on the 13th by 3 o'clock. So the last day that you guys can submit any work for me, I'm going to give you guys until the 9th, which is our last class period. All right. So that is the last class date that you will be able to submit any assignments. All right, so I want to make sure that you guys mark that date. Those of you guys that are missing stuff, you only have until that date to submit. I will not accept any assignments the 10th, the 11th, or the 12th. I need those dates in order for me to grade whatever it is that you have or whatever remaining assignments you have left. Do you guys have any questions on that right now? All right, because I am recording this for another class or for my Tuesday, Thursday class for you guys, the last day for you guys to submit any assignments will be next week when we come back. All right, next week we'll be here from the 29th to the 2nd, the 20, or I should say we will be meeting the 30th. I want all of your, basically all of your assignments submitted before the 2nd, all right? So that when we meet on the 7th, I will give you your final grade. Right. Again, that is for my Tuesday, Thursday class. Any questions, guys, right now? Again, for my virtual class, the last date to submit any assignments will be the 9th. All right, you must be done with everything before the 9th. Okay, let me talk about 5.1. 5.1, basically what you're going to do for 5.1 is you're going to add one more link to your portfolio, and this is going to be your reflection. This particular link is gonna, in this link or in the assignment that you have for your reflection, you're gonna be thinking about the different things that we've covered this semester with regards to, this could be a number of things. This could be with regards to reflection, revision. This could be something having to do with creativity. This could have something to do with different maybe concepts that we have or ideas that are related to reading and writing. One of the things that you're asked early on in the module is to think about metacognition. And I think we, early on in the semester, this was one of those words that I think we discussed. We looked at metacognition and we talked about metacognition with regards to thinking. I think one of the terms that we sort of agreed on was thinking about thinking, right? And specifically, I should say, with regards to the way that we think about literacy and reading, right? We started talking about kind of the way that we should think about our process, or to see whether or not we've maybe even developed a process of the way that we read and write. We all sort of have our own kind of process with regards to the way that we maybe start essays or the way that we are able to learn whatever it is that we're reading or whatever it is that we're kind of talking about with, with regards to, topics and things of that nature. So thinking about the way that we do these things is going to be sort of the approach that we're going to take with this last assignment. All right. So I want to talk about metacognition and sort of, kind of talk about maybe an analogy. One of my students had a really great analogy earlier today when we were talking about metacognition. He sort of, I asked, well, what is metacognition? Like exactly how do we understand metacognition? And he gave me this really cool example of maybe math, right? And he had this example where he said, well, you know what, if we think about maybe addition he said like multiplication, I could say, I could come up with just like a multiplication kind of like, I could say maybe like 9 times 2. And more often than not, most of us, because we learned our multiplication tables and we sort of memorize them, we are able to give you a quick answer with regards to multiplication, on something like that, from like a question like that, 9 times 2, right? 18. But if we were one of those people, or like if you were one of those people like me who kind of struggled with multiplication, with memory, I wasn't very good at memorizing the multiplication tables. When I learned, my nines, I sort of learned them kind of, counting with my fingers, right? Um, whenever somebody asked me, well, that's not what's 9 times 2, I would actually have to get my fingers and count 1, 2, and then be like, oh, it's 18, right? Kind of, that was like a way for us to sort of understand, or the way that our teachers sort of explained to us how to calculate our nines if we really weren't good with them. So this idea that some of us had to learn a different way is sort of getting into this idea of the way that we learn, or the way that we kind of should approach understanding things metacognitively. So whenever we talk about literacy and the way that, literacy and writing, trying to discuss these things, metacognitively, then we're looking at kind of what are the things that we do in order to sort of understand how we write, understand how we read, etc. And all of us kind of have, a different way of doing these things, right? Some of us need to brainstorm before we begin to write an essay. Some of us, even before we start even writing or kind of getting into the mood of writing, have to, have to be in an area where maybe there's no noise, etc. One of the things I talked about with regards to kind of like an example of writing processes is Lucia Corpi. I don't know if you guys remember Lucia Corpi, that old lady that talked about writing, like she described it like an amante caprichoso. You guys remember that? And what she was saying is just the simple fact that we need to, whenever you have an idea, whenever you're generating ideas, you need to make sure that you put them down somewhere, because otherwise you're going to lose them, forever. You're going to forget, etc. So, when we talk about metacognition and the way that ideas are sort of generated, we should understand that. We should understand that, according to, this person, according to Lucia Corpi, you need to be ready to write. You need to be able to have access to certain things. You need to be able to just make sure that you get down the idea right away. So when I thought about, what Corpi was talking about and her idea of ideas and how we generate ideas, I kind of correlated her, her lecture with kind of the things that I do, right? And one of the big things that I do with, with regards to creativity and kind of getting ideas is, I need, for me, in my phone, I have like a little recorder, where I can just record, whatever it is I'm thinking, or even like if it's music or something like that, or a song or something, I'm able to just get it recorded somewhere so that I can come back to it later and I don't forget. So part of what you're going to be doing in 5.1 is sort of tracing back all of the things that we've maybe talked about this semester and seeing what helped you. But you're wanting to understand these things using metacognition, right? Have you, what does feedback tell you, or what is, maybe providing, maybe what are some things that maybe you had difficulties with, during the semester? This could be anything. This could be tied to revision. This could be tied to kind of opening up questions or giving criticism, etc. So for everybody, it's going to be a little bit different, all right? But this document, we still have like a little kind of rubric document that we can go, and that kind of gives us a little bit more information on what we should put on our reflection, all right? But again, it's really tied to sort of looking back in hindsight to the things that we've done during the semester so that we can kind of explore what our process has been like to see if anything has changed, to see what's worked for us, what hasn't worked for us, etc. Now, again, you'll have little, questions that are going to be addressed to you that will help you kind of get your, your brain kind of going with regards to this. The other thing is you want to have your portfolio information or your portfolio links created already. So there'll be a portion in 5.1 where, all of these kind of links you should have these links already on your portfolio. So again, if you don't have these things, make sure that you're creating these, making sure that everything is uploaded properly. Again, we're wrapping everything up, so portfolio needs to be organized already and almost to the point where it's ready for submission for grading. All right. Now, the other thing that you'll have in 5.1 is you're going to have like a little brainstorming activity to get your reflection portion done. So it's going to be asking you to create like a little concept map, just like the way that we've done before in the semester, to get your kind of brainstorming going with regards to your reflection. And I guess what I would do with this particular assignment, I'm not really good at doodling or anything like that, but I am good at kind of doing little outlines. I would start kind of thinking about the things that maybe worked for you with regards to, some of the activities that we did this semester. Some of the things you found kind of helpful for you and some of the things maybe that didn't. So for me, I would do maybe a couple of lists. One of them that was like kind of the pros, the things that you enjoyed, and maybe the cons, the things that you don't think maybe helped you out with regards to kind of your understanding of writing or literacy or things of that nature. Again, and there'll be a little map or a little outline that you'll have to submit for that. All right. The other thing is that once you've done this, you have another, I guess this will be your final discussion where you'll post your own kind of, your own response to these questions, and then you'll have feedback from one of your peers. So again, this will be like a two-part thing, and again, I want to make sure that this is done by Sunday. All right. So that's pretty much it. That's pretty much 5.1. Again, this is pretty much the last major assignment that you have that you'll have a link to in your portfolio. So it's pretty self-explanatory if you go through each one of the modules. Again, if you there's a couple of videos that you should kind of look at as well to help you with kind of the way that we should think about maybe your reflection and sort of maybe some of the questions that you could address in the reflection, just in case maybe you don't know what to write about. All right. Do you guys have any questions for me?
No, sir.
We have a lot to do, guys, between here and again, because we were missing those 4.2 and 4.3 assignments. Dates are going to be very important. So again, my concern is that you guys get your artifact done before next week so that I might be able to provide you guys some feedback on it. If you need to meet with me or conference with me outside of class, make sure that you let me know. I might be available to get with you on Wednesday. If needed, I could probably even be available to you guys on Friday. But please make sure that you get with me if that is the case, if you need to conference with me with regards to any type of assignments. Otherwise, the modules are there. It's just a matter of you guys making sure that you get finished with them. Okay. I think that's all I need to cover. Any other questions? Again, just feel free to send me an email and I'll get back to you. Any questions? Any other questions? Again, we will not be meeting on Wednesday. So again, if for whatever reason you do need to conference with me, just let me know. If there is any issue with any of the series, I think everything should be there already. I think you guys should have access to them. Please let me know. We cannot afford to be, late. And again, this last time it was my fault, but I wish somebody would have kind of contacted me with regards to that, because again, we don't have that much time left to complete these modules. So I'm trying to. I will be kind of making sure that I give you guys ample time to complete this, but we don't have any time to waste anymore. So that's it. I will see you guys then on Monday of next week. Have a good Thanksgiving and a good Thanksgiving break, and make sure again that if you are missing stuff, make sure you get complete those. And if you have any questions, let me know. All right, I'll see you.
Have a happy Thanksgiving, sir.
You too, Nathan. Take care.
Sir,
Yes.
I wanted to ask when it would be possible to conference with you. I just need maybe a few minutes.
Well, right now, if you want to stick around, we can. Well, actually, let me close this meeting and then we can open up a new one and then we'll talk, because I need to make a copy of this video.
Okay.
All right.
That's fine. Mhm.